You hear me, Eric?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for your patience. This is Judicial Assistant Emily. Judge Stiles is on his way up right now. We had to switch courtrooms. We're not entirely sure what happened, but again, thank you so much for standing by and letting us work through our technical difficulties.
Good afternoon, folks. Have a seat, please. Apparently our audio, right in the middle of me giving the decision, didn't no longer work. So can you hear me now, Mr. Hart?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Thank you, Mr. Peterson.
Yes, I can hear you.
So, folks, I've had a chance to review all the materials, not only the affidavits, declaration, but all the pleadings as well. That I am admitting exhibit number 1 to show Mr. Hart's experience in both in the primary and in the general of going through the process with our county clerk or auditor's office in obtaining replacement ballots. The other 2 videos, because I don't know who they are and what dates those occur, they're of limited relevance, so they do show a similar pattern of the way that the county auditor issues requested replacement ballots. Obviously in the state of Washington, the election laws determined by our state legislature. They've determined processes for county auditors to how to handle elections and ballots in particular. That Mr. Hart has submitted a number of the statutes for the court to review. The court notes that under RCW 29A08.010, that's the registration process, that a signature attesting to the truth in that is required of a citizen in order to register for a ballot. He has submitted another statute, RCW 29A.40.160, that references provisional ballots, that for someone to be issued a provisional ballot, they have to provide a signature in the declaration form that would be compared with, I believe, the signature on the registration before a provisional ballot would be issued and received by the auditor's office. The state law relative, and reading the statutes, provisional ballots are different than replacement ballots. There's a separate statute, RCW 29A.40.070, regarding replacement ballots, in particular subsection 3 talks about how a registered voter can get a replacement ballot. It's clear from statute requires that a registered ballot, only a registered voter can obtain a replacement ballot. And reviewing the videos, and implicit in the statute that the auditor would has some, I guess, in order to issue a replacement ballot, has to verify that one is the information received by the auditor's office is regarding a replacement, regarding a registered voter. Reviewing that video, the assistant clerk or the auditor, in all of the videos, got name, address, date of birth, and then printed a ballot. One was handed to the individual that participated in the videos. That the only way that the court can assume and the court will find is that in order for the auditor to issue a replacement ballot, it first had to be verified that there was a registered voter. Otherwise, the replacement ballot couldn't have been printed, the appropriate ballot for the person requesting the replacement ballot. This may seem over-technical, Mr. Hart, but the replacement ballot statute, which is different than the registration statute and different than the provisional ballot statute. The replacement ballot statute by our legislature does not require a signature to verify that the person requesting the replacement ballot is the registered voter, as opposed to a registered voter. That anyone from the statute as outlined by the legislature, anybody can come in and request that ballot by mail, electronically or otherwise. This statute does not require a signature for the person getting the replacement ballot. Does it create those risk and issues that you've identified, some of those? Presumably so, though the way it's outlined in the statute is that protection, is argued by the state, is protected, if you will, by the ultimate ballot that is counted versus compared to the signature on the ballot versus the signature that the registered voter has already submitted to the auditor's office. Because the statute doesn't require specific signature verification by the auditor when someone comes in and asks for a replacement ballot, your motion, sir, is denied. That obviously it creates issues, Mr. Hart, that you've identified, that you've got potentially a ballot mailed to someone that might get voted, and someone else coming in and asking for a replacement ballot might not be the registered voter. And there may be two ballots that are ultimately submitted to the county. The legislature has to fill that hole. The courts aren't here to fill the hole, and the legislature is clearly, in those other scenarios, as the initial registration and the provisional ballot, requiring a signature. Mr. Hart, have you had a chance to review the state's proposed order?
I did receive it. I haven't thoroughly reviewed it. I got it yesterday.
Okay. Well, I'm going to sign the proposed order. Mr. Hart, anything else? I've got to say, even though I ruled the statute says what it specifically says, and the legislature hasn't determined otherwise, I think having an interest in elections these days by someone like yourself, a citizen interested in these election issues, is important and impressive. And anything else you want to say? I want to give you that opportunity.
Yeah, no, I would point that you appear to have misread the text of the replacement ballot statute that says a registered voter may request a replacement ballot. The English language does not infer that they're requesting someone else's replacement ballot. I don't know how you can recreate that sentence to infer that anyone out there can gather a replacement ballot for anyone else. That's not what the language of that statute says. So I don't agree with you in the slightest.
Okay, well, you don't have to, sir. Thank you. Mr. Peterson, anything else that you'd like to say, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you all.